It was a battle-type jade beast rejected by the entire world. Its ultimate fate was to become a bowl of snake soup. But when I first laid eyes on it, I decided to contract it as my beast companion. Passers-by nearby witnessed this and jeered at me with schadenfreude laughter. Even the boss advised me, it's only good for eating, not for battle. But what they didn't know was, I had awakened the divine heavenly blood lineage. Not only could I detect its hidden innate lineage, I could also fully activate it, evolving it to its ultimate form. And this little viper harbored the lineage of the cosmos-level divine beast, the Apocalypse Azure Dragon. At this time, facing the approaching Liu Ruyan, I merely nodded politely in response. However, Liu Ruyan did not intend to leave just yet. Rather, she obediently followed by my side, asking, by the way, Wang Chen, what brings you here? Hearing this, I calmly replied, selling things. What a coincidence, I'm here to sell things too. In fact, I was going to team up with you to prepare for the advanced exam. But my father assigned me to another team, so I had to go with them. You understand the situation, right? My relationship with King Xuanli is just that of ordinary teammates. I don't know why. Liu Ruyan suddenly started explaining. As for her words, I truly had no mind to listen, because the little glutton in my arms started fidgeting again, constantly urging me to hurry and take her to eat something delicious. And it was at this moment that King Xuanli approached with a disdainful frown. Wang Chen, you're here too. Too lazy to even glance at this idiot. I spoke directly to a staff member nearby. Please show me the way. I have some things to sell. The staff member nodded. Yet King Xuanli completely ignored him. He sneered loudly, oh come on now, Wang Chen. Don't pretend. With those broken junk things you have, you want to sell them here? Let me tell you, they don't accept trash below C grade here. If you want to sell your scrap, just go to the street stalls outside the market. King Xuan deliberately made a scene, successfully drawing the attention of everyone in the hall. At the same time, his words also caused the staff member to glance at me unintentionally. However, he still maintained professionalism, gesturing with his hand. Sir, please come with me. This counter is for the materials you wish to sell. Take them out, and our professional appraisers will evaluate and price your items. I nodded, to show I understood, still ignoring King Xuan's words. But after his outburst, the surrounding traders all watched me with keen interest, as if wanting to see me embarrass myself. King Xuan sneered coldly as he watched me, mocking, heh, keep pretending. Let's see if you can stay calm. Let's see if you can maintain your composure. Yet he was unaware that the ever-smiling Willow Ruyan gave him a discreet glance. Deep within her beautiful eyes, a chilling glint of frost flickered. King Xuan, you truly deserve to die. Then, under everyone's watchful gaze, I calmly followed suit and approached the counter. Upon reaching it, I was about to retrieve the items from my spatial pouch, but paused and inquired, oh, right, can I receive the payment on the spot? Hearing this, the surrounding onlookers immediately burst into derisive laughter. Ha ha ha. This lad seems to have no worldly experience at all. Such a massive establishment. How could they possibly lack funds for purchasing materials? It seems that King Xuan was right about him. This kid probably doesn't have anything good. The employee at the counter replied with a smile, dear customer, please rest assured, our treasure pavilion is among the top trading companies, not just in this eastern city, but the entire Lanzhou province. Regarding material transactions and gold coin exchanges, we always settle on the spot without delay. There's no chance of us withholding payment from our customers. I ignored the reactions of those around me and nodded, all right then. I'm reassured. Very well. Accompanied by a spatial fluctuation, the next second, those who had been jeering, hoping to witness a spectacle, were left gaping. Their jaws dropped, their pockets rustling. In an instant, a torrent of materials poured out of my spatial pouch, like a deluge flooding the counter. The heap towered like a small mountain, completely occupying the entire surface. Most were C-grade materials or higher, obtained from the sand jar bosses in the Undead Mountain. At this moment, the appraiser, who had been seated calmly at the counter, suddenly stood up in excitement and exclaimed, "Holy crap! It's the heart of a B-grade giant troll leader, a rare B-grade material." Upon hearing this, even Willow Ruyan, Li Yuan, and the others were shocked. It must be known that in this small eastern city, only about 20 A-grade resources are produced per year, fetching around 50 to 60 million gold coins each. B-grade rare materials can skyrocket to 700 to 900 million gold coins, and this giant troll leader's heart is a core material for crafting platinum 1-star life armor. Countless wealthy individuals have been openly seeking to acquire it. Add to that the giant troll leader's enchantment card, worth around 300 million gold coins, and the other valuable C-grade resources those discerning individuals present, quickly estimated the total value to be over 1.7 billion gold coins. Realizing this, everyone present couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. King Quan, who had mocked me for not having good items, was now utterly humiliated, his face flushed crimson. Damn it, where did this Wonkin obtain such treasures? Meanwhile, Willow Ruyan smiled sweetly as she gazed at me. Those who realized this could not help but gasp in that moment. The one who had initially mocked Wang Chen for not being able to present anything good, King Chuan, was now utterly humiliated. His face turned beet red from extreme embarrassment. Damn this Wang Chen. Where did he obtain such treasures? Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan smiled radiantly at Wang Zhen. Indeed, the man she fancied, even after becoming an ordinary warrior, remained extraordinary. "Let me settle the bill," I calmly told the staff, ignoring the reactions around me. "Right away, sir. Right away for our esteemed guest." The staff could no longer maintain composure. For the treasures on the table were their rarest gems, which they could not acquire in a year. Soon, a graceful middle-aged man appeared and handed me a membership card and a bank card. He also gave me a purple gold card, the highest VIP card of Zenpin, granting access to their most premium services. I accepted the cards nonchalantly, nodded slightly to Liu Ruyan, and left Zenpin under the manager's escort. Seeing Wang Chen's utter disregard, King Chuan's heart filled with resentment. "You wretched Wang Chen! How dare a lowly commoner, an ordinary warrior, obtain such precious treasures?" Liu Ruyan gave him a cold, murderous glance before leaving Zenpin as well. King Chuan failed to notice the chilling killing intent in her eyes when she looked at him. After leaving Zenpin, I took Little King to buy her favorite foods instead of leveling up further. I returned home to rest and recuperate, for the next day marked the start of the advancement exam. The next day dawned swiftly when I, accompanied by Little King, arrived at Dongying Plaza, the city's sole exam site. It was already teeming with people, apart from parents seeing off their children. There were high school juniors watching the advancement exam live broadcast. Thousands of examinees filled the plaza, mostly grouped in small parties, while others yet to form parties were recruiting members openly. Unlike previous years, when the strong chose to go solo, this year even capable examinees formed parties with peers of similar strength. This was due to Jilu, known as the iron-faced examiner, who set the questions each year. Few dared to take his exam solo. "Hey, isn't that Wang Zhen?" someone exclaimed upon my arrival. Instantly, thousands of eyes turned towards me. It couldn't be helped. I was quite famous in Dongying's high schools. The 3-year combat tournament champion, who defeated the scions of prestigious clans. No way, who did I think he was? The so-called prime talent of Dongying. Wang Chen, is it? Is it only now? Haha, who did I think you were? Feelings. The notorious Wang Chen, hailed as the top genius of Dongying City. How miserable, going it alone. Not a single person willing to team up with him. He awakened as a beast tamer. Without any spirit beasts or pets, who would want to team up with him? Well, that job class doesn't have powerful beast companions. So he's just a waste. I bet he can't even solo the first level. I won't let you talk about him like that. Dongying City's top genius, just let him try hard. At least he could still get into a first-tier university, right? This is what they call the warmth of human feelings. This is it. Previously, when I won the battle championship trophy, they cheered for me. They said they hoped during the college entrance exam that I would take care of this very group of people. Yet now, these same people mock and jeer at me. This time, I didn't show any emotion and couldn't be bothered to respond. In my previous life, I encountered many such people. And just as the crowd was mocking me, suddenly there was a commotion at the outskirts of the plaza. The crowd turned to look, and their eyes beheld a line of extremely luxurious luxury cars. Stopping at the entrance, then, formidable level 40 bodyguards strode down from the cars. They opened the car doors. And next, exquisitely dressed, handsome young men and beautiful young ladies alighted from the cars. Upon seeing them, the crowd swarmed over like bees. Here they come, here they come. The pride of our Dongying City has arrived. Wow, Li Yang is so handsome. Yes, I'm almost mesmerized by him. If I could be his girlfriend for just one day, I would wake up smiling even in my dreams. Along with Ruo Yan, Nian Nian, and Liu Ruo Fu. These three beauties standing together are a real feast for the eyes. The key is, I heard these young masters from prestigious clans have all reached level 35 and above. Li Yuan has even reached level 37. Hahaha, Wang Chen he is a clown. The reason Li Yuan went from 35 to 37 overnight was because last night, the Li family airlifted in to level 40 bosses on the verge of death. After Li Yuan killed them with one shot, he leveled up. For the same reason, Jia Wenxuan is only level 33. Because in the Ogre's Nest dungeon, he fled. So he missed out on a huge chunk of experience. Although his family clan rushed to deliver a bunch of bosses for him to kill overnight, the number wasn't enough to make up for the shortfall. And at this moment, Li Yuan had already formed a party with the three beauties. Liu Ruo Yan, Nian Nian and Liu Ruo Fu. Their party was missing one more member. Jia Wenxuan was unable to join the team. Naturally because his level was too low. However, he had already arranged with other young scions to form a team at the Pear Garden. He wanted to invite another level 35 aristocratic heir. But Liu didn't expect that Liu Ruyan, the third young lady, would walk towards the same direction. Then, before everyone's astonished gaze, the third lady came up to Wang Chen. After stopping, Liu Ruyan stretched out her little hand to me and smiled. Wang Chen, our team is short of one person. I sincerely invite you to join our team. Liu Ruofu and Liu Nianian also revealed smiling faces. What they didn't know was, this scene brought tremendous shock to the surrounding people. They never expected that this top student team formed by four aristocratic talents would ignore the brilliant Zhuo Wenwei, but instead invite Wang Chen, a mere beast tamer. Not just the crowd, even Li Yuan and Zhuo Wenwei had ugly expressions instantly. Without waiting for me to speak, Li Yuan and Zhuo Wenwei came to the three ladies. Li Yuan smiled and said gently, Ruyan, I've already arranged with Wenwei to have him as the last member of our team. We can't invite Wang Chen now, can we? The exam rules state a maximum of 5 per team. The exam rules stipulate that a team can have at most 5 people, he said. 3 and 7 minus 7 the catalyst. We agreed beforehand. How did we not know about this? Actually, even without Wang Chen, they didn't really want to team up with Zhuo Wenwei either. Because Zhuo Wenwei's personality is too arrogant and overbearing. We agreed last night. Just didn't have time. My mistake, my mistake. Sichuan. Li Yuan said, then hypocritically looked at me and said, Wang Chen, sorry. I'm sorry about that. Our team is full. You'll have to find another team, I'm afraid. Naturally, I saw through Li Yuan's intention. Inwardly sneering. I didn't plan to team up with anyone anyway. I coolly waved my hand. Too lazy to care, and was about to turn and leave. But the arrogant and overbearing Zhuo Wenwei couldn't help but sneer, disdainfully saying, I thought it was someone who could take my spot. Turns out it's just that lustless BeastTamer, Wang Chen. Hearing this, I paused mid-step. I turned and looked at Zhuo Wenwei with a calm gaze. Oh, you little punks still don't respect me, huh? Zhuo Wenwei's face instantly turned vicious. He rolled up his sleeves and walked towards me. Although in the actual combat exam, he was beaten by Wang Chen until he cried out, that was under the premise that skills were not allowed. Now it's different. Wang Chen has transformed into a mere beast-tamer who can only rely on favoritism, while he has become a hidden class. A gunner hunter, a powerhouse. Before Wang Chen can summon his pet, he could shoot the other into critical injury with just one bullet. At this moment, Li Yuan shouted, enough, Wenwei, don't be rash. Stopped by Li Yuan's shout, Zhuo Wenwei shrugged his shoulders, halting his steps. He pointed at me, his tone sinister, kid. Don't let me run into you in the wild, or else, hehe. He then turned and went back to Li Yuan's side. When Li Yuan saw Li Ruyan and the other 2 girls, their faces were already full of embarrassment. He was apologetic too. Wenwei's temperament is a bit impulsive. But he's still a good person. At least in terms of strength, there won't be any problems. The 3 girls wanted to say something more, but at this moment, from the main stage, at the very front of the Guanchang Square, came an intense surge of magic energy. Then a spatial portal appeared out of thin air. Afterwards, over 10 figures in suits walked out. Their aura extraordinary. And when these figures appeared, the previously noisy square instantly fell silent. On every student's face was a solemn expression. None dared make a sound, even those who wanted to announce leaving the team to join Wang Chen had to avoid it, because this person, the principal, and this other person, from the Dragon Kingdoms, a big shot from the National Vocational Education Bureau, had turned into a demon. He was a level 120 necromancer of death. At that moment, he was merely standing there, yet the magical elements surrounding him seethed. Even the order of magical ceremony flickered around his body. The candidates below gazed upon him in awe. Oh my! A level for ceremonial mage of this era. What concept could he be to these small fry from Doncloud? Let me put it this way. The strongest master currently residing at Doncloud Academy is merely a level 65 ceremonial king of the 2nd rank. An existence of level 120 to all the students and spectators present. They were truly witnessing in the flesh a prowess they had only seen on television, a power so formidable. Of course, I'm not saying a level 120 is the pinnacle of strength in this world. But to the commoners and novices of Doncloud, a level 120 expert is already the ceiling. The scene quieted down. With graying temples, the middle-aged Chang Bo strode to the front of the main stage. His stern gaze swept across the youthful faces of the students below. Allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Cheng Bo, a level 120 Tempest ceremonial mage of the 4th rank, and also the chief proctor for this year's Dongying Municipal Vocational Entrance Examination. Regarding the important notes for the exam, I believe your teachers here have repeated them numerous times already, so I shall not belabor the point. However, I must remind you all. Humility is a virtue, and one should act within their capabilities. The trial for this year's vocational exam is the Xuan Tian Demon-Suppressing Pagoda. As Cheng Bo's words reached this point, gasps of shock erupted from the students and spectators. The candidates' faces instantly drained of color. The entire demon-suppressing pagoda. That place seals away countless ferocious demon beasts. It said the strongest demon there has even reached level 190 and above. Now they're having these teenage novice candidates assault the Xuan Tian Demon-Suppressing Pagoda. Isn't that a death sentence? Seeing their apprehensive expressions, this level 120 Tempest ceremonial mage hastened to reassure them. Do not be nervous. For this exam, the demon-suppressing pagoda is our artificially recreated version. The demon beasts sealed within are adjusted to an appropriate difficulty for the exam. However, you cannot relax either. This exam trial may be the most challenging in history. So when you attempt it, choose the difficulty level carefully. Do not be greedy for better scores, and pick a challenge beyond your abilities. You all understand the instructions? Yes. The candidates replied in acknowledgement. Cheng Bo nodded, then waved his hand. Ripples of energy pulsed outward, for massive golden gates materialized in the open plaza before them. Seeing the gilded color of these gates, the crowd gasped again. I couldn't help but gasp and again. The color of a teleportation gate generally corresponds to the difficulty level of that instant's dungeon. This golden hue before me must indicate a golden level difficulty instance. Just as Brother Cheng had said, this year's job advancement exam may be the most difficult in history. Not for nothing was it set by the iron-faced tormentor Jijan. This year's top scorer in Southern Province will truly be extraordinary. All right everyone, once you're ready, you may touch the gate window to enter the instance and begin the exam. Time limit is 5 minutes. Those who don't enter the instance within 5 minutes will be considered to have forfeited the exam. Having finished speaking, he turned and went back to the chief proctor. As for me, Yin Hua, I didn't hesitate at all and touched the golden gate. In an instant, my figure disappeared from its spot. Wang Chen. He actually chose to solo the exam instance. Holy shit, he really has a death wish, doesn't he? This is a golden level difficulty instance. He is being arrogant and reckless. Does he really think the monsters in the exam instance are just like trash mobs in the wild? Solo does give a higher score weight than grouping, but there's no way he can handle this golden Xuan demon-suppressing pagoda on his own. We'll just watch. I bet he'll be forced to retreat on the very first level. I was planning to team up with Wang Kui and Li Ruyan, but seeing Wang Chen has already entered the instance, I'm thoroughly disappointed. Li Yuan seemed to notice, and inwardly felt delighted. Even he didn't dare solo this year's exam instance, and had to group up obediently. It would be a miracle if Wang Chen could clear it solo. Better if he just dies in there. After all, deaths sometimes happen in the job advancement exams. Then, Li Yuan put on a gentle demeanor and said to Ru Yan, since he's already in the instance, we should group up first. No matter what, we need to secure our exam scores first. Lu Wenyan could only nod in resignation. Unlike Li Yuan's view though, they weren't worried Wang Chen couldn't pass, but rather regretted not being able to group with him. But for now, to ensure they could be admitted to a top-tier martial academy, they could only group with Li Yuan first. Meanwhile, on the proctor's platform, all the principals saw Wang Chen enter the portal alone and were stunned. Wang Chen had chosen to solo, and none of the principals present were unfamiliar with the student. He had led First High to suppress all other schools for 3 straight years. Then some principals who had been jealous before started making snide remarks at Zhao Longjun. First High's principal. Hey old Zhao. Your student sure takes this job advancement exam seriously, doesn't he? Soloing it so recklessly like that. Wang Chen has an arrogant personality. He must feel stifled only getting a prospective contractor rank. Soloing now, huh? He must be eager to prove himself, I suppose. Hey eager to prove himself, but not at this moment. What kind of contract could he strike? An unaccepted pawn. And he's not even teaming up to go in. Isn't that just walking to his death? Old Zhao, I'm not talking about you. Even if he fell from the celestial altar. You can't force him like this, can you? These principals' words stabbed at Zhao Longzhu mercilessly. But to the surprise of many principals, Zhao Longjun didn't seem to mind their sarcasm at all. Instead, he still had a smiling face. At this moment, in his heart, he absolutely wouldn't tell this bunch of people. Even on the day of the job transfer ceremony, Wang Chen's homeroom teacher had already secretly reported Wang Chen's talent level to him last night. He had even secretly called Wang Chen to ask Wang Chen if he wanted to report his talent level to the Education Bureau, so he could be directly exempt from the college entrance exam and become a recruited student. Top universities would definitely fight to have him. But Wang Chen had simply shaken his head and said it wasn't necessary. He wanted to shut those people's mouths up with his legitimate college entrance exam scores. And he said he was well prepared and would solo this college entrance exam dungeon. Zhao Longjun knew this kid Wang Chen had his own views. Since he dared to do this, he must have prepared thoroughly. Having taken precautions in advance, Zhao Longjun naturally wouldn't be fazed by these colleagues' taunts and sarcasm. However, the 4th Celestial Invigilator Cheng Bo, who was also the chief supervisor of the exam, frowned slightly upon hearing the principal's words. He had just said to act according to one's abilities. But in the next second, this student named Wang Chen blatantly chose to solo the dungeon. Defying his words, it should be known that for this Nanzhou Province College entrance exam, even those provincial talents had formed two-person teams, yet this little BeastTamer was foolishly choosing to solo it, courting death. Did he really think this job transfer exam couldn't actually kill people? Thinking of this for Celestial Invigilator became angry too. Hey let me see what qualifications this BeastTamer has to dare solo the dungeon alone. The many principals, hearing this, fell silent. Even the previously calm Zhao Longjun felt a little anxious. He didn't expect Wang Chen's reckless solo decision would displease this chief invigilator so much. Cheng Bo then said, "Turn on the magic hologram projection. Let's see the students' performances." The staff opened the switch, and the projected magic screen hanging in midair clearly appeared before everyone's eyes. The massive screen was divided into about 30 viewing windows, each corresponding to a dungeon instance. Soon, the examinees' figures appeared before everyone. The Xuan Tian Demon-Pagoda, a replica of the forbidden manual for summoning demonic entities, suitable for levels 10-40, with the option of choosing blue or golden to star difficulty. Modes range from simple, normal, difficult, nightmare, to hellish, requiring a party of 1 to 5. With the adverse background of the iron-faced Asura, a supreme trial dungeon devised by Master Ji Jun. It consists of 5 layers in total, holding extremely powerful monsters for the examinees to battle against. Beware of the provisions. Examination Rule 1. Health and mana potions can be used 5 times each. 2. Items above C rank cannot be utilized. 3. No restrictions on equipment. 4. Single attribute enhancing potions can be used up to 5 times. You have now entered the Xuan Tian Demon-Pagoda dungeon. The base level, the 1000-layer tree. You have obtained a town portal scroll. When faced with mortal peril, use it immediately. Friendly reminder, using the scroll has a 3-second casting time, during which any attacks or controls will interrupt the cast. Exercise caution with the casting bar. After reading the dungeon information, what came into view? was an extremely spacious hall. In the center of the hall stood a towering figure, his hands and feet bound by iron chains, emanating an unparalleled, ferocious aura. Aided by the torchlight burning within the pagoda, I was able to make out the monster's appearance. It was a half-human, half-pig demonic boar. Without hesitation, I cast an identification spell, and the boar demon's information panel appeared before my eyes. Befitting a hellish difficulty golden dungeon, the first monster we encounter is already twice as powerful as the ogre chieftain. This demonic boar, though not as tall as the ogre chieftain in stature, possesses twice the combat prowess, and is also a chieftain-level entity. I couldn't help but marvel once more. Truly befitting the iron-faced Usura realm, the enemies at hellish difficulty are especially having their skill information obscured and hidden, without clear details on this chieftain's abilities. The difficulty of the onslaught escalates considerably. At this moment, when the examiners, proctors, and audience witnessed the scene I was in, everyone was struck with utter shock. Wait, did I see that right? Hellish difficulty? Gods, has he gone mad? Solo is one thing, but to choose hellish difficulty on top of that? Even Li Yuan's Supreme Party only dared to challenge Nightmare Mode. This is just seeking death. Instantly, a torrent of dismissive voices rang out. Even Zhao Longzhang's usually composed expression was utterly dumbfounded. Good heavens, he had thought, at most, Wang Chen would solo the difficult mode. But never did he expect hellish difficulty. The other headmasters' expressions were equally priceless. And the 4 transcendent law cultivators from Changguo, at this moment, their faces had already turned as black as charcoal. This was simply outrageous nonsense. Just then, someone suddenly cried out in alarm. Look, Wang Chen has entered. He's about to start the challenge. And the principals who had intended to question the headmaster of School 1, with sarcastic remarks. The many principals from Zhao Longju School also hurriedly turned their attention to the screen. However, my next action made everyone present cry out in utter shock. Isn't he a BeastTamer? Why doesn't he summon his beast companion? Instead, he's charging forward like a warrior, wielding an axe. Isn't this just seeking death? On the screen, it could be seen that I did not hurry to summon Little King. Instead, I directly drew the 5-star silver weapon, the giant chieftain's battle axe, and charged towards the blazing boar fiend. The moment I stepped into the battle arena, that blazing boar fiend, bound by heavy chains, suddenly opened its bloodshot, frenzied eyes. An overwhelming killing intent immediately locked onto me. Then, with a clang, the iron chains binding the fiend's body broke apart and fell away. Free of its restraints in an instant, the blazing boar fiend let out an enraged roar, as if venting the resentment accumulated from being bound. In its frenzy, the next second, without any warning, it charged straight at me. Seeing this, my eyes flashed, but I did not retreat. Instead, I accelerated, charging straight towards the boar fiend, even leaving faint afterimages in my wake. In just 3 seconds, our 2 figures clashed together. Without any hesitation, the blazing boar fiend struck out with the fist at this damned human before it. A vicious blow rained down the blazing boar's steel fist. It could be seen that the boar fiend's fist, as big as a sandbag, was wreathed in blazing red flames. The swirling sand particles made it even more ferocious and terrifying. Seeing this, the spectators lamented that it was over. It seems this former genius of the East, the defiant prodigy, will fall at the first hurdle. Even the group of principals could not help but frown and snort. This kid is simply courting death, daring to charge straight at the fiend. I said, didn't the teachers at School 1 teach me how a beast tamer should fight? Well, you'd better get ready to transport me out. However, the city governor overseeing the proceedings did not speak. As a transcendent law cultivator, his perception was far sharper than these minor school principals. This kid is too calm. He wore an expression of assured victory. This subconsciously made Cheng Bo feel that Wang Chen must have a way to defeat the pig demonic beast. And the truth was, just as this 4th-level celestial had guessed, the next second, a scene that slapped everyone in the face unfolded before their eyes. As I was about to collide with the flaming pig demonic beast, I suddenly raised the battle axe in my hand and swung it horizontally in front of me, forming an extremely standard and fluid parrying stance. In an instant, a crisp clink resonated, the sound of clashing metal. Then, to everyone's utter astonishment, the flaming pig demonic beast that was supposed to be killed by my punch not only failed to do so, but even successfully triggered some skill mechanism, causing its burly, obese body to lean backwards, seemingly entering a state of massive deadlock. I parried it. He actually parried it. He really succeeded. Parry is an F-grade universal skill. Its effect is that after taking the parrying stance, if you can successfully block the enemy's attack within the next 0.5 seconds, you will be immune to the damage and counterattack the enemy, leaving them stunned for 1.5 seconds. It's a universal skill that every job can learn. The audience present was completely unfamiliar with this skill, but they rarely learned it. Not because it costs skill points, but because this skill demands exceptional combat sense and fighting skills from the user. If you can't grasp that 0.5 second window, the consequence is instant death. Who would dare to gamble with their life? Yet the tall figure on the screen clearly had 100% absolute confidence in his combat skills, which is why he dared to use this parry skill against the tremendously powerful pig demonic beast. And in this 1.5 second deadlock, the beast could not use any skills. I seized the opportunity, raised my giant axe high, leapt into the air, and slammed it down forcefully on the pig's neck. The next second, a large pig head, accompanied by a foul-smelling shower of pig's blood, flew into the air. It soared high, then landed with a thud. The headless flaming pig demonic beast collapsed lifelessly to the ground. At this point, the expressions of the audience were priceless. Exclamations of admiration erupted one after another. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Awesome. Damn awesome. This is the caliber of a 3-time battle arena champion. I never thought that Wang Chen would clear the first level in this way. This guy is simply a combat genius. He perfectly embodied the importance of combat skills. And those junior and sophomore students gazed at the figure on screen with admiring eyes. Truly an idol. In this intelligent world, if you unleash an awesome skill, people will only praise the skill as awesome, not you as awesome. But if you want to rely solely on your combat skills to turn an ordinary skill into a game-changing divine technique, everyone would absolutely praise you as incredible, rather than praising the skill itself as incredible. And on the headmaster's podium, the many principals who had initially been dismissive and condescending toward Zhao Longjuan, at this moment fell into an awkward frenzy. Even the one who had disregarded the reminders at first, and had not looked favorably upon the outcome of his soul transference divine technique, his expression was slightly shaken. In terms of combat, this kid was truly a rare prodigy. Just that fearless, uncompromising aura of his had already crushed all the other candidates present. If he were to change to another combat profession, his prospects would be limitless. But why did he insist on becoming a beast-tamer who could only rely on favors? At this moment, Cheng Bo felt deeply regretful in his heart. And as Cheng Bo was lost in his regrets, the principal of the second school, who had always been at odds with Zhao Longjuan, could not help but snort disdainfully. This was only the first stage. Granted, this kid's combat skills are indeed top-notch among all the candidates. But in the later stages, relying solely on that combat prowess, well, The second school principal's words left Zhao Rongjun silent. Although his tone was sarcastic, what he said was indeed factual. At the same time, I also received a notification that the next stage was beginning. Pig Demonling, congratulations. You've advanced to the next level. Without any hesitation, my soul smoke swiftly stepped through the light gate, heading toward the next challenge. This was the career transition exam. Every candidate had to race against time, striving to minimize their clearance time as much as possible. For every second delayed, one could potentially fall behind many competitors in the provincial or municipal rankings. At the same time, the previously clamoring crowd also calmed down, watching the tall figure on the screen. With anticipation and curiosity, the second stage. I hope this Wang Chen can create some more miracles. The second stage. Hopefully, this Wang Chen can still work some miracles. After I stepped through the light gate, what came into view was an enclosed octagonal hall, like a massive arena. This was the second level. A prompt indicated this was the small monster level. Every 3 minutes, a wave of monsters would appear, totaling 3 waves of monsters. The first wave of monsters was about to emerge. After this prompt appeared, from the dark corners of the tower, a pair of eyes filled with savage bloodlust began to flicker. Piercing eyes. With a quick glance, I roughly estimated there were about 15 of them. I cast Identify, and the details of these monsters appeared before my eyes. These bloodthirsty ratmen were weaker than the Flame Lords in terms of strength, intelligence, physique, and other stats, but their agility of 4,000 was shockingly high. Evidently, this second stage not only tested the students' endurance, it was not only the students' endurance in battle that was being tested, but also their perception and reaction abilities. And because it was a circular, enclosed hall, the space was compressed. They could not freely maneuver as they would in the wild. The key was, if you couldn't kill all the first wave of monsters, within 3 minutes, the second wave would appear. The increasing number of monsters also meant the survival pressure would intensify. The difficulty was indeed much higher than the first level. After discovering this point, I was not afraid or panicked. Instead, a fiery battle spirit welled up within me. Meanwhile, on the main stage, after the principal of the second academy made some sour comments, the atmosphere became rather silent. Looking at the screen, the one wearing a laurel crown was none other than Wang Chen. Many principals had already lost hope in Wang Chen passing this level. Chen Guo shook his head slightly, a regretful expression on his face as he said, "It's a pity, with so many agile monster forms, Wang Chen alone will surely be overwhelmed." Heh, Professor Cheng. I've already said, passing the first level was his limit. In this second level, with so many monsters attacking simultaneously, no matter how skillfully he applies his defense techniques, he cannot possibly withstand such a gang attack. He will surely fail this level. The principal of the second academy easily sealed Wang Chen's fate. Zhao Rongsun could only smile bitterly, unable to refute. The only hope now was pinned on Wang Chen's gifts. Down below, the junior and sophomore students erupted in cheers. Go, Imperial City Senior. Defeat the 15 bloodthirsty ratmen. You can do it, Imperial City Senior. These younger students lacked the principal's foresight. They only knew that Senior Wang Chen was awesome, their idol. So they cheered him on. At this moment, accompanied by a roar, one of the bloodthirsty ratmen launched an attack on me. In an instant, it leapt the 10-meter distance, landing before me. Its sharp, slender claws aimed for my vitals. The ratman's speed was astonishing. Witnessing this scene, the audience gasped. If it were these juniors and sophomores facing such a swift and crafty attack alone, even if they didn't die, they would likely be severely injured. But my expression remained as calm as ever. With a slight tilt of my body, I evaded the slashing claws. He actually dodged it. What incredible agility! No, it's not just agility. If he was half a second slower, or tilted a fraction less, he would have been hit. Yet this was merely the beginning. A feast of agility then unfolded before the audience's eyes. The bloodthirsty ratmen could no longer contain their savage natures. They launched a collective assault. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, within the circular, enclosed hall, the bloodthirsty ratmen pushed their speed to the limit. One could even see faint afterimages. In an instant, the bloodthirsty rat monsters within the enclosed circular hall pushed their speed and movement techniques to the extreme. One could even see faint afterimages left behind as they moved. Their target was clear. They headed straight for Wang Chen. Seeing this, the audience's hair stood on end. Was this the hell-level difficulty of the high school entrance exam? Even though they weren't experiencing it firsthand. From the screen, they could sense the oppressive aura exuded by these bloodthirsty rat monsters. I cast a general skill on myself, extreme speed. After gaining agility, I leapt high into the air, easily dodging the first wave of encirclement. A grappling hook fired from my wrist, embedding itself into the 15-meter-high ceiling. As the hook retracted, my whole body clung to the ceiling like Spider-Man. Seeing this, the bloodthirsty rat monsters growled angrily and hissed in frustration. They frantically clambered up the pillars, rapidly scaling towards the ceiling. My expression remained calm as I reached into my spatial bag. With a wave of my hand, I released the grappling hook, dropping back down to the ground. The bloodthirsty rat monsters had to jump back down as well, like dogs being walked. But I seized the opportunity. In that half-second, when the rat monsters were jumping down from the ceiling, I fired a second grappling hook up towards the ceiling. As it retracted, my body was pulled back up to the ceiling once more. The rat monsters that had just returned to the ground were going crazy. They clearly didn't expect such tactics. The audience watching was stunned as well. They never imagined I could play like this. Well done. Who would have thought grappling hooks for travel could be utilized so skillfully? Not just the audience was surprised. Even the headmasters on the VIP stands didn't expect Wang Chen to so easily escape the bloodthirsty rat monsters' clutches. But evading them is pointless. What use is that? Over 2 minutes have passed already. When the second wave arrives, it will be much harder. The headmaster pointed out this unavoidable problem. Yes, his evasion skills are impressive, but he hasn't killed any monsters yet. However, at this moment, Cheng Bo, who hadn't spoken, suddenly laughed. Don't worry, sirs. The issue you're concerned about, this kid has already solved it. I never expected he would have such a trick up his sleeve. I'm once again certain that this kid is a true combat genius. Wang Chen has solved that problem. The headmasters were taken aback, just as they were about to ask for details. They heard the students below crying out in astonishment once more. The bloodthirsty rat monsters are down. The headmasters looked down urgently and saw, on the screen, the previously lively bloodthirsty rat monsters now lay motionless like dead dogs. They had all collapsed limply. Wang Chen gripped his massive axe tightly, facing the enervated rat monster corpses. He began hacking away at them wildly. Swish, swish, swish as axe rose and fell. In just a few seconds, the 15 bloodthirsty rat monsters became wandering ghosts. Witnessing this scene, the headmasters were utterly dumbfounded. How did this young man manage to paralyze and down all the bloodthirsty rat monsters? What left them even more stunned was yet to come. They watched as Wang Chen, having slain all the rat monsters, in the final 40-odd seconds remaining, actually took out magic mechanical mines from his spatial bag and swiftly, deftly set them up. Magic mechanical mines were specialized equipment produced by demolition experts. Once set up and secured in place, the mines would turn invisible If an enemy entered their sensory range, they would automatically explode, dealing massive damage to the enemy target. They were usually purchased by bounty hunters, used for hunting and ambushing giant wild beasts. And they're not cheap, either. One costs 20,000 gold coins, and in just 30 minutes. Suckwo magic mechanical landmines. Just their value alone reaches over 2 million gold coins, covering the entire floor of the circular enclosed hall, with almost invisible landmines everywhere. And at that moment, the second wave of monsters finally emerged. As soon as they appeared, the group of monsters let out a low growl. A pair of startled eyes immediately locked onto Wang Chen. And everyone finally saw the second wave of monsters clearly. 20 Silver Needle Demon Apes. Although the Silver Needle Demon Ape strength was a little weaker than the Raging Flame Boar Demons, they made up for it with greater numbers. But before the Silver Needle Demon Apes could attack me, their feet suddenly transmitted rapid electronic sounds. Beep, beep, beep. The next second, to the shock of all the spectators, the magic mechanical landmines I had laid beforehand were instantly detonated. In an instant, towering explosion flames engulfed the entire circular enclosed space. All 20 demon apes, without even a chance to attack, were swallowed by the sea of flames, burning to cinders. Wang Chen and the others finally saw that I had transformed into Spider-Man, hanging upside down from the ceiling, and on my body, I was wearing a pre-prepared, high-grade magic blast-resistant suit. Damn, that works too. Even a blast-resistant suit was prepared in advance. This guy is truly the living embodiment of Old 6. I've watched so many job transfer exams, but this is the first time I've seen someone pass using landmines and a blast suit. Don't tell me he'll actually pass in 6 minutes. Li Yuan and the others are still stuck on the first level. Yet Wang Chen is almost through the second already. Not only are his combat skills amazing, but his mind is brilliant too. He's truly mastered the tactics of slaughter. And at this moment, after seeing the prompt that the second wave of monsters was eliminated, I began setting up for the second round. This time, I not only laid landmines, but carefully sprinkled some crystalline magic powder, emanating a magical energy wave on top of the mines. This was high-grade fire amplification powder. Immediately, an audience member whose side job was alchemy recognized what the powder was. High-grade fire amplification powder for alchemy. It's used to increase the firepower when refining pills. Just under 1 gram in weight, can double the fire in an alchemy furnace. Yet now this Wang Chen had sprinkled a thick layer of it directly onto the landmines. Damn, if those explode, the power would increase by over 10 times. Thinking of this, all the spectators couldn't help but shudder. This guy Feng is not only a veteran loser, but also a madman. To be honest, they had never imagined that the high-power amplification powder could be combined like this. Wasn't Wang Chen afraid of getting blown up himself? Even with a 300,000 gold advanced magic blast-proof suit, it couldn't withstand an explosion of this magnitude. However, next, Wang Chen gave everyone another lesson. On the screen, we see me taking out the blast-proof suit. Then from my spatial bag, I took out more than a dozen blue talisman papers and pasted them on the suit. What's this item? Magic Guardian Spirit Talisman. The audience was stunned by my actions, involuntarily swallowing their saliva. The so-called Magic Guardian Spirit Talisman is a defensive item. Once pasted on the body and infused with spirit power, it will activate the talisman, forming a magical barrier to block enemy attacks. But the barrier only lasts for 3 minutes. And the talisman is expensive, each costing 10,000 gold coins. So very few people are willing to buy it. It was unexpected that Wang Chen would use it now. With more than a dozen magic barriers protecting him, plus the advanced magic blast-proof suit. Kingston excitedly said, "No need to watch anymore. The next wave of monsters will be instantly blown up as soon as they appear." In other words, Wang Chen's time for the second level was 6 minutes. He instantly killed the Jew monster in the first level and cleared the second level in the shortest time. Until now, Wang Chen's performance is no worse than those top provincial talents. Absolutely impressive. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Who could have imagined that in the small Dongying school there would emerge such a genius? At this moment, on the main stage, the headmasters of many schools were also shocked by Wang Chen's series of moves. They had never expected that this brat Wang Chen would so boldly give everyone a lesson on item tactics. At this moment, the headmaster of the fourth school suddenly said, "The later magic mechanical minds. Those things I can understand. I'm just wondering, for the first wave of monsters, how did he make all those bloodthirsty rat monsters collapse?" The headmasters, upon hearing this, awkwardly turned their gaze towards the level 120 voice actor. To be honest, we headmasters, mostly level 50 or 60, couldn't tell what method this brat Wang Chen used. Against the first wave, the voice actor, who rose from a novice commoner, was very familiar with these items. Deadly numbing gold powder. An odorless and colorless magic drug powder. Once inhaled, it causes full body paralysis. The more powder inhaled, the longer the paralysis lasts. Note: ineffective on monsters above level 40. The headmasters were enlightened upon hearing this. The more powder inhaled, the longer the numbing effect lasts. Note: ineffective against monsters level 40 and above. Many principals heard this, only then realizing the truth. Ah, so that's what it is. No wonder the bloodthirsty ratman chasing after Wang Chen would suddenly collapse, and at this moment, accompanied by deafening explosion sounds, the whole screen was filled with crimson flames. The third step had 30 level 35 leader monsters. For star giant ferocious lions. Pity them, they had just appeared, without even a roar. They were burned to ashes by the terrifying explosion. Some people are just too overpowered, it's infuriating. Could he really solo this? The Xuan Tower on hell difficulty? However, amidst the praises, some more rational people couldn't stand it anymore. Alright, don't put Wang Chen on a pedestal. He's indeed outstanding, but his methods only worked for the first to warm up levels. Those familiar with Jijun's cruel question setting style know. The real difficulty is in the last 3 levels. Let's pop the champagne if he clears those final 3. Upon these words, those originally awed by Wang Chen's golden techniques fell silent. They could only hope this dark horse Wang Chen would surprise them. But within the Xuan Tower, what entered my eyes was an extremely winding huge maze. Current floor 3rd. This level is a maze. The observer needs to find the maze exit within 5 minutes. Otherwise it will be considered a failure. You have 1 minute to prepare. After 1 minute, the timing for clearing starts. A maze level? Looking at the information before me, I frowned. This was clearly an extremely time-wasting level. If it were normal times, I wouldn't mind wandering around, searching for the exit to pass time. But this is the job transition exam. Being slow by just 1 second could drop me dozens, even hundreds of ranks. For assurance, there's only one choice. With that thought, I clasped my hands. A ding sounded. Come forth, little green fortune. A supremely mystical beast summoning array appeared before me. Seeing this, the audience exclaimed, "It's a beast summoning array. Wang Chen is finally summoning his beast. I wonder what kind of beast it will be." Not just the audience, but even the headmasters at the head table held their breaths, eyes glued to the screen intently. Even that fourth job divine judge overseeing had an extremely interested look. Clearly, everyone had high expectations for Wang Chen's beast companion. After all, Wang Vassal, will you be able to pass the subsequent levels smoothly? That depends on whether the spoiled pet can give him enough power. So then, what extraordinary existence will his spoiled pet be? I guess it must be a spirit beast, an unparalleled pet. I think Wang Vassal, as the protagonist's son, will start with a primordial beast. Whoa, isn't that too exaggerated? A primordial beast can't be bought with just money. You need connections and relationships too. Wang Vassal, could he really possess a pet of that level? Don't doubt him. With my years of experience reading web novels, I can deduce. This kid likes to play dumb and suffer for his spoiled pet. It's definitely a spirit beast consolation. The above was just a guess, but when everyone clearly saw the image on the screen, on everyone's face was an expression of disbelief, mixed with an odd look. Oh my god, my lord. Why is it this second-tier demonic beast? In terms of surprises, Wang Vassal never disappoints. Are you kidding me? To actually contract such a useless demonic beast. It's over, no need to watch anymore. Not to mention competing for the provincial genius, he may not even pass this level now. Some viewers who had high hopes for Wang Vassal could only sigh in distress. Even the headmasters on the main stage had frozen expressions. The chief invigilator frowned tightly. Chen Sheng asked, which high school is Wang Chen from? Why would his spoiled pet be the second-tier demonic beast? Upon hearing this, the headmasters knew this chief invigilator was looking to place blame. The headmaster of School 2, Wen Yan, quickly responded, Mr. Cheng, Wang Vassal is a student from School 1. The headmaster of School 1 is Zhao Longjun, sitting to your left. At this moment, his heart was in turmoil. Originally seeing Wang Vassal's smooth advancement, he felt concerned. After all, if Wang Vassal really took the top provincial scholar honor as the headmaster of the top scholar school, Zhao Longjun would surely be overshadowed. But when Wang Vassal summoned a little green snake as his spoiled pet, the headmaster of School 12 breathed a sigh of relief. Now he felt at ease. Not to mention competing, he might not even pass. While Chengbo looked towards Zhao Longjun, questioning, Zhao Longjun, what's going on? Even if the school has financial difficulties, you can't let such an outstanding student contract just a second-tier common beast, can you? Zhao Longjun was nearly in tears. I heard the 500 million yuan scholarship was issued. How could that only buy a 9th-tier demonic beast? He didn't know this kid Wang Chen would be foolish enough to contract a green snake. However, just as Cheng Bo was about to further question Zhao Longjun, there was another outbreak of exclamations from the audience below. What the hell? Oh my god, that little snake suddenly grew to 50 meters tall. The leaders also looked, immediately focusing their gaze on the image on the screen. The scent of smoke wafted through the air. The leaders' gaze instantly focused on the scene unfolding on the glowing screen. After which he too was struck dumb with awe. In the small blue city, Little Blue had reached level 30, and his massive metamorphic talent was now beyond comparison to his former self. After unleashing his power, his serpentine form now stretched over 100 meters long. When reared upright, he towered a staggering 50 meters high. Within this maze, he nearly brushed against the ceiling. At this moment, Little Blue unleashed an ear-splitting roar. Then, he charged straight at the maze walls before him. Afterward, he smashed through like a battering ram, creating a path. The sturdy, high-strength barriers that even a level 40 transcendent could not destroy crumbled like tofu before his might, accompanied by a series of thunderous booms. This 100-meter serpent beast, boom after boom after boom, plowed forward with irresistible force, smashing through a path 2 kilometers long that led straight to the maze's exit. Having completed the task, Little Blue shrank back to his original tiny size and slithered affectionately onto me, seeking praise with childlike coyness. The little darling. Of course, I happily indulged my beloved pet. Yet even as I did not linger, swiftly making my way to the exit. When the spectators witnessed this scene, their faces were painted with stark amazement. And yet, I did not pause in my stride. Advancing rapidly to the finish, the audience, seeing this, were utterly dumbstruck. On each person's face was an expression of utter shock and disbelief, as if they had just witnessed the most astonishing sight in the world. Some were so stunned they could not speak. And on the days where the headmasters sat, their reaction was the most extreme of all. For they had never imagined that this maze trial, said to have been designed by the legendary harsh master Ji Jun over 6 months, could be overcome in such an unceremonious manner by the king's favored disciple in less than half a minute's time. Most perplexing of all to them was this: how could an ordinary phased spirit beast possess such an outrageous metamorphic ability? At that moment, the headmasters realized that not only was the king's disciple a lion among men, but even his spirit beast companion was one as well. Could Little Blue be a mutation? But even if so, this was too excessive, was it not? Yet the level for Celestial Master, a highly experienced and knowledgeable elder, immediately deduced the truth of Little Blue's nature. That serpent must be a bloodline mutation spirit beast, though even for a mutation, its abilities are rather excessive. Still, to the elder, this was good news. It meant the king's disciple was extraordinary, and thus had a chance of completing the trials triumphantly and achieving an unprecedented level of success. With that in mind, the elder's mood brightened considerably. Not only did he not reprimand the supervisor Zhao Longjun, he patted his shoulder reassuringly, saying, "Haha, if you can complete the final 2 challenges, the king's disciple is sure to achieve a remarkable score." Instead, he patted his shoulder reassuringly, chuckling with a smile, "If you can pass the next to most difficult levels, Wang Chen's score will undoubtedly be outstanding. After all, for the first 3, he has already taken a significant lead over the other examinees. He might even achieve the top scorer title in the city." Zhao Longjun, flattered by the praise, said with feigned humility, "He, Mr. Cheng, you flatter me too much. That Wang Chen, if he manages to pass, I'll be utterly amazed," Cheng said with a laugh. "Don't be so modest," Mr. Cheng smiled. "The first 3 levels have already revealed this young man's capabilities. Now that he has a rare mutated pet, passing should not be an issue." There was one bold speculation Cheng did not voice, however. If Wang Chen could bulldoze through the remaining 2 levels without stopping, he might become the first commoner from a small city to attain the provincial top scorer title. At this moment, I had already entered the 4th level. The current level is the 4th. You have entered a state of 3rd level debilitation. 3rd level debilitation reduces all your attributes by 30%. At the same time, a ferocious roar echoed throughout the entire 4th level space. As soon as I set foot on the 4th level, the information panel prompted me, prompting that I had entered a 3rd level debilitation state. 3rd level debilitation reduces all your attributes by 30%. Immediately after, my ears were assailed by a ferocious roar. I squinted my eyes, aided by the faint fire in the tower space, and saw in the center of the arena a monstrous creature towering 10 meters high. After quickly appraising it, the monster's attribute panel floated before my eyes. Good heavens! It was an elite monster, just 1 step away from reaching the transcendent 9th ruler level. Its strength attribute was a staggering 8,000 points. Upon seeing its panel, I furrowed my brow slightly. A monster of such attributes could not be slain by my combat skills alone. Even the 4th realm celestial overseeing the exam sighed, "Old G. That fellow, his questions are as twisted as ever." Just then, a startled cry made everyone jump. "Oh my God, someone died." When they turned to look, they saw on the screen an examinee being torn apart by 3 silver needle demon apes. The remaining 4 survivors were quickly surrounded and forced to retreat by the apes. They had no choice but to flee the battle zone and use return scrolls to teleport out of the Xuan Tian Demon-Suppressing Tower. When the 4 emerged, they were weeping uncontrollably, relieved to have survived. but more so terrified of the monsters. The gory scene of their companion being torn apart replayed endlessly. Guilt, despair, horror and other negative emotions overwhelmed them, nearly shattering their minds. And that was not the only death. In the other viewing windows, casualties began to appear one after another. Some entire teams were wiped out in gruesome ways. Damn it, it's because Wang Chen breezed through the levels, making us think the difficulty was low. We forgot the examiner this time is that iron-faced demon, Xuan. At this moment, in the Dongying Plaza, many failed examinees had been teleported out, some who could not bear their failure were already breaking down in anguish. The headmasters watching felt heavy in their hearts seeing this. Just then, the gloomy atmosphere was shattered by an astonished shout. Look, Wang Chen cleared the 4th level. Everyone stared in stunned disbelief. Gulp. How is that possible? In less than half a minute, Wang Chen cleared the 4th level. They turned to see Wang Chen, hands in pockets, walking through the light gate to the 5th level. A receding silhouette passed through the 5th gate of light. How does it feel like Wang Chen's college entrance exam is different from others? Why could he breeze through so effortlessly? Proctor, I request a video playback. I didn't see Wang Chen's process of passing through. Playback, 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 playback. But my alter ego in the parallel world knows not his own actions, which caused an uproar among outside spectators. Yet, one must admit, this Goblin Emperor is quite formidable. When I entered this 4th realm with Little King, the Goblin Emperor opened his bloodthirsty, brutal eyes, breaking free from the shackles that lost their sealing effect. He let out an enraged, hateful roar full of wrath. Accursed humans! I shall exterminate you all. Then he drew the gigantic, razor-sharp ancient blade beside him. Like a missile, he charged at me. The rushing gale whipped up a strong wind, blowing against my face. Seeing this, though my expression remained calm, a hint of coldness flickered in my eyes. Little King, if this Goblin Emperor is still alive after 20 seconds, half of your daily snacks will be deducted. Upon hearing this, the once playfully clingy Little King wasted no time. Without hesitation, she leapt off me, her serpent eyes fixed on the charging Goblin Emperor in the distance. It's this wretched brute that puts my snacks at risk. This won't do. Enraged, Little King didn't use her giant form, but unleashed her ultimate extinction lightning. Then crackling bolts of lightning coiled around her petite serpentine body. Immediately after, she charged straight at the Goblin Emperor. Little King, you're going to slam into this vile lump and kill it? From behind, I gently raised my hand, and a profound magical glow enveloped Little King. Spoiled Frenzy, a top-tier enhancement skill activated. Under its effect, Little King's mental attributes doubled instantly. Her originally suppressed 9,800 attributes skyrocketed to 19,600 in a flash, not only restoring her peak, but surpassing it by over 5,000 attribute points. Though the pet frenzy only grants 10% enhancement, do not forget I wield the Immortal's favorite talent. All priest skills are amplified tenfold. 1,000% in fact, so that mere 10% became a whopping 1,000% increase. As for the Goblin Emperor facing this lightning serpent, barely larger than a toothpick gap, he instinctively laughed it off. But in the next instant, his keen senses set off blaring alarms in his mind. Not good, this little snake is uncanny, double quotes. In the next instant, his keen sense of perception immediately sounded a strong danger alert in his mind. Not good, this little snake is strange. The seemingly restless yet cautious Goblin Emperor immediately chose to trust his own courage. But retreat was absolutely impossible. They had to clash, for sure. Then the Goblin Emperor also urgently activated his frenzy. Power amplification. Irresistible force. Soaring ambition. With 3-wing skill enhancements. Not only did his original 7,000 strength skyrocket to 12,000, but his extremely sturdy body was also enveloped in a dense bloody glow. His murderous aura rose to an extremely deadly level. Then accompanied by a thunderous boom, the dazzling lightning and crimson bloodlight collided with each other, illuminating the entire tower space brilliantly. After that, the Goblin Emperor let out a muffled groan while retreating to steps. Then the Goblin Emperor's face showed shock and disbelief. Not right, completely not right. At this moment, he felt his body as if it had been drained. His strength attribute of 12,000 points now only had 3,600 remaining. His physique, wisdom and agility attributes also plummeted 70% similarly. Moreover, in that recent clash, not only did he lose half his health, but he was also inflicted with a scar that increased damage taken by 500%. The Goblin Emperor was utterly dumbfounded. While Little King knocked back, the Goblin Emperor, still unsatisfied, let out a battle cry filled with rage, then charged at him again. After all, if over 20 seconds passed without killing this monster, half of his spirit stones would be deducted by the master. This action also made the Goblin Emperor panic. He wanted to dodge sideways, but with his agility reduced by 70%. How could he possibly evade it? As expected, Little King viciously smashed into the Goblin Emperor's chest again. And this time for the Goblin Emperor, it wasn't just a simple retreat. His whole heart, under such a terrifying impact, was directly shattered into pieces. The next second, he lost all life force and collapsed heavily. The entire process took only 15 seconds. You slew the Goblin Emperor. Congratulations on clearing the 4th level. At the same time, a crimson light gate appeared in sight. Now only the ultimate challenge remained. If this final level went smoothly, then I would have an 80% chance to become the top scholar of Lanzhou province. I took a deep breath, then stroked Little King's round little head. After that, I stepped into the crimson light gate. Drip, drip. When I arrived at the 5th level, the first thing I heard was the faint sound of dripping water. The droplets fell onto the slightly muddy and soft soil. Flickering candlelight hung upon the walls. The surroundings were gloomy and dim. I gazed around, only then realizing it was a vast, damp cavern. Proceeding down the cavernous path, I soon saw the final boss, an immense 3-headed python, coiled within this cavernous space as vast as a palace. Although the brightening light fully illuminated the 3 python heads. At that moment, perhaps stimulated by the light, the head on the left opened its eerie icy blue serpent eyes. And with its awakening, I clearly felt the surrounding temperature drop. Chillingly, the ice element slowly converged towards that tongue. The 2 serpents were equally cold and stern. Locking eyes with them, I too felt a bone-chilling coldness swirling around me. Then a hoarse, deep voice emerged from the left tongue. Human, ah. It has been so long since I last smelled such delicious flesh and blood. Then with its massive head, it forcefully struck the other 2 sleeping serpent heads, awakening them. You 2 fools, wake up now. Struck by the blows, the 2 serpent heads awoke from their slumber as well. Then their 4 serpentine eyes of different hues instantly locked onto me. The middle head's 2 eyes were pitch black, That entire serpent head was covered in black scales like obsidian rock. Beneath the scales seemed to lurk immense power. As for the head on the right, its scales glowed a burning red, even its serpent eyes like blazing flames. The fire magic element swirled around it. Upon seeing this three-headed python's features, I immediately recognized this monster, the Hellfire three-headed serpent. And under my identification skill, its detailed panel also appeared before my eyes. It was an astonishingly powerful one-star boss. This Hellfire three-headed serpent was no stranger to me, nor to the audience watching from outside. I wonder if the valiant Wang Chen can overcome this. I think he should be able to. Indeed, although we didn't see how he instantly killed the Goblin Emperor in the 4th round, his little Azure Serpent's gigantification in the 3rd round showed it was no ordinary beast. However, this Hellfire three-headed serpent is definitely no pushover either. Hopefully Wang Chen can truly create a miracle. Just then, someone else reacted. Wait. If he clears this final round so smoothly, wouldn't his overall clear time be extremely short? At this point, someone suddenly realized. Wait, if he passes this final round, doesn't that mean his total clear time will be extremely short? He might have a shot at the province's top 10. Not just the top 10 in the province. I think he could compete for the provincial first place. No way, you can't be serious. You really might be onto something. The crowd grew excited once more. Realizing this point, and the numerous small giants on the main stage, especially the principal of number 1 middle school, Zhao Longjun, at this moment, his breathing became directly hurried, and his blood pressure rose with it. That Taoist priest of the heavenly shift formation stared intently at the screen. His eyes filled with hope. If you do not die young, your future achievements will surely surpass mine. So let me see whether you, little Wang Chen, can create history. At this moment in the scene, the three-headed python from hell, with its 6 cold snake pups, tightly locked onto the tall human figure before them. Yet they found that this human did not, like those who had challenged before, show any fear or awe towards them. This made their emotions collectively turn furious. A puny human insect actually dared to look at them without any fear. Damn it, thinking of this, the crimson tongue on the right spewed scorching flames at me, without any mercy. It wanted to roast this ignorant and tiny human into a fragrant piece of meat. Yet facing these gushing flames, I simply took a step. My whole body vanishing like teleportation, I disappeared from the original spot. This caused the crimson snake's fiery column to hit the agile little insect on the ground instead. Seeing this, the three-headed hellish python was slightly taken aback. But no matter how agile the other was, it was useless. As serpents and python beasts, they were born with thermal imaging sensing talents. As long as it was a living creature with temperature, no matter where it hid, it would appear clearly within their sensory radar range. The scene would appear with unparalleled clarity. He was there. The three-headed hellish python turned its head directly, locking onto the left corner. But just as they were about to attack, wait, on the radar, why was there a tiny red dot? The three-headed hellish python was still quite cautious. When it sensed something amiss, it immediately halted its action, sweeping its gaze across the space in front of them. What came into view was a little green snake, staring at them with round bulging eyes, locking gazes with this little green snake. When did this little green snake slip in here? In that very moment of their bewilderment and hesitation, the little green snake in front of them had already opened wide its tiny snake mouth. The next instant, a terrifyingly dazzling lightning pillar erupted directly from the little green snake's mouth. Under the horrified gaze of all spectators outside, the three-headed fire snake that could speak let out agonizing screams together. Its snake body, over 100 meters long, under the impact of this lightning pillar, was actually blown away backward. This was Little Green's Extinction Dragon's signature skill, wind machine welding. Not only that, this great talent, thunder nullification, was also utilized in combination. As soon as we reached the 5th space, I had already given Little Green the command. Strike swiftly. So Little Green directly unleashed this exceptionally terrifying killer move. Moreover, I had already applied for enhancements to Little Green in advance: Berserk Bloodlust, Battle Trance, Fury of Battle, and Rally the Troops. Rousing War Drums. Although each of the attribute enhancements to Little Green was only around 10%, under the tenfold effect of this great talent beast favored child, it directly boosted Little Green's attributes to 39,200. While the three-headed hellish python only had 13,000 in psychic attributes. At the same time, since Little Green launched a surprise attack, the three-headed hellish python didn't get a chance to use any enhancement skills at all. Of course, even if the three-headed monster used all its enhancement skills, it absolutely couldn't be Little Green's match. The massive body of the ferocious monster was seen flying backward, smashing through countless stone pillars along the way. Ultimately, like a nail, it embedded itself into the wall. Little Green's dragon breath lasted a full 10 seconds before stopping. The formerly lively three-headed hellish python now lay motionless, without a sound or movement. In this process, the three-headed python's body had been utterly disintegrated by the hydrogen lightning elements. Registering that examinee Wang Chen defeated the final boss, the three-headed hellish python. Congratulations to examinee Wang Chen on successfully clearing the 2-star golden subrealm. Devil Array Demon Tower. Current mode Hell. Clear time 7 minutes 20 seconds. Performance rating Assassin. Time rating Assassin. Overall rating Assassin. 01 44 12 0 for 01 40 for 13 04. Your scores have been successfully uploaded to the backend of the Dragon Kingdom's Job Transition Exam Data Center. In 1 minute, the reward for clearing the dungeon will be issued. As the announcement of the Spirit of Adversity rang out, I finally relaxed the tightly wound battle nerves in my heart. I let out a light sigh of relief. 7 minutes and 20 seconds, that was the best I could do. I don't know how powerful those provincial prodigies are, but this score should secure me a spot in the provincial top ranks. With that, I have obtained the qualification to enter the top combat academies of the Dragon Kingdom. As I was pondering this, Little King climbed into my embrace and called out softly. Then it nuzzled my palm with its little head affectionately. Little King, you are awesome. Tonight at home, I'll make you a big meal, let you eat your fill. Seeing its master reward it so, Little King immediately narrowed its eyes in delight. A ding sounded. Rewards issued. At this moment, everyone outside Dongying Square had expressions of utter astonishment on their faces. Their eyes were all staring disbelievingly at the scene displayed on the holographic screen. Their demeanors, as if they had seen a ghost. In such a season, even the principals on the main stage, as well as the chief invigilator, the Dharma body of the Chengguo nation, were stunned by the events. A level 45 Chimera Python that had not even reached the supernatural 1-star realm was completely unable to retaliate against a mere ranked beast the whole time, unable to even use its ranged attacks. This was simply outrageous. Was this really just an ordinary beast? Even if it had a bloodline mutation, it shouldn't be this exaggerated, right? The principals felt their worldviews had been utterly shattered. After all, a level 45 supernatural boss monster. Even if these level 50+ principals tried to kill it, it would be impossible to one-shot it. This was just too shocking. The Dharma body of Chengguo was dumbstruck at this moment. A time of 7 minutes and 20 seconds, with all assessments being rank. There was a 90% chance he would be this year's Lanzhou provincial top scorer. And the principal of number 1 High, Xiao Longjun, was already grinning from ear to ear. The other principals were now full of admiring congratulations for Zhao Longjun. At the same time, the students watching below had already erupted in cheers. As expected of Brother Chen is the man. Yeah. Those who mocked Brother Chen before, saying he couldn't make it, you still barking? 1 minute quickly passed. At this moment, a brilliant golden pillar of light descended before me. With a heavy thud, a dazzlingly shiny large treasure chest also dropped down. Without hesitation, I opened the large chest. The shiny large treasure chest also fell with a crash. Without any hesitation, I opened this large treasure chest directly. How mundane, you powerful one. All rewards have been sent to your spatial bag. Please check and collect them yourself. Congratulations on obtaining 500,000 experience points. Congratulations, you have obtained the accumulated material Hellfire Serpents. Congratulations, you have obtained the 2-star Golden Hellfire Serpent Spear. Congratulations, you have obtained the title Pioneer of the Sand Demon. Since you have broken the historical record of this dungeon, you have additionally obtained the following rewards. Congratulations, you have obtained the S-Skill Book Life's Lover for Beast Taming. Congratulations. Congratulations, you have obtained the B-Level Talent Rapid Release. Congratulations, you have obtained the S-Level Universal Skill Book Flame Elixir, a bountiful reward. Absolutely bountiful. Seeing the prompts displayed by the commemorative version before my eyes, I couldn't help but feel delighted at that moment. 500,000 experience points would allow me, at level 30, to directly advance to level 35. The A-grade material Hellfire Serpent's Gall in this small Zuyan chamber was priceless. Whether hoarding it or selling it directly, it would be profitable. As for that star Golden Hellfire Serpent Spear, it could replace my current White Parrot star Battle Axe. And the title Pioneer of the Sand Demon would increase my physical and magical attack power by 5%. This title was already quite good. Don't underestimate that 5% increase. Occupational transfers can have countless titles. When you have enough titles, the attributes of all those titles added together would greatly enhance one's power. Next, the talent and skill rewards were the main event. First, the S-Level Beast Taming Skill Book. Life's Lover, a great skill. With this damage sharing skill, for my beloved S-Level passive skill, my self-preservation would definitely not be a problem in the future. Then the S-Level Universal Skill Flame Elixir. Another great skill. For me, as a beast tamer, this kind of universal attack skill is naturally much needed. Otherwise, when fighting others, they would just bypass your beast companions to go after you. If you had no means of attack, you would be like a fish on the chopping board. Helpless prey. Finally, the B-Level Talent Rapid Release, which complements well. It pairs perfectly with my magic skill, Battle Tempering. Alright, I've received all the rewards, time to go. Since the dungeon told me the rewards, and that my score was record-breaking, that must mean my performance. If no one else breaks my record later, then I should be the top scorer. Thinking of this, I revealed a smile. I have finally proven my strength. I've slapped those who look down on me right in the face. Afterward, I used a return scroll to go back to the real world. Here he comes. Chen Ji is out. At this cry of surprise, everyone also saw a tall, well-proportioned figure appear before the golden gate, enveloped in a halo of light. His familiar handsome face had an aloof and indifferent demeanor. Even though he had achieved such an outstanding result, people could not see a trace of pride on his face. The next moment, the entire Dongying Square resounded with thunderous, enthusiastic applause. Wow, bro Chen, my god has finally come out. Chen Ji, congratulations on becoming the top scholar of Lanzhou province. Husband, look at me. Cheers, rejoicing, worship, and adoration all mixed together instantly. As for me, having just regained my sight, I was a bit dazed, facing this tidal wave of enthusiastic cheers. To be honest, I really didn't expect these spectators to idolize me so much. You have to know that before I entered the dungeon, most of the voices around me were mocking and ridiculing me. However, my heart didn't have much fluctuation about this. These people are just spectators. Their so-called cheers, adoration, and reverence are all premised on me achieving good results. If my results were just average, or I didn't even pass, then the words they would say to you would become extremely harsh and scathing. And the principal of Yizhong, Xiao Rongjun, as well as Wang Chen's homeroom teacher Lin Xia, also quickly walked over from the VIP stage. This normally stern and imposing principal was now beaming with smiles. He took out his phone and started snapping photos of Wang Chen like this. Ah, Lin Xia. You're his homeroom teacher. Why are you just standing there? Hurry up and come take photos. He's the top scholar of Southern Zhong province in this job transfer exam. Hearing this, Lin Xia also expressed regret for this student. Even if he transferred and became a forecaster, he had never thought of giving up on him, and the facts proved that Wang Chen did not let him down. The homeroom teacher Lin Xia said with a light laugh, after the exam is over, you can leave and go home. However, the job transfer exam results will not be released until 7 days later. Once there's news, I'll call you immediately. He did not bother this top student, who had just achieved glory, any further. With light steps, he returned to the VIP stage with the principal. I was not in a hurry either, and went directly to the waiting area for examinees to rest. As time passed, examinees also continued to emerge from the adversity dungeon. Soon, several rather powerful examinee teams also emerged. It could be seen that they all had faint smiles on their faces, suggesting they likely did quite well. But when they saw Wang Chen sitting in the examinee waiting area, yawning drowsily, their previously relaxed conversation instantly fell silent. Like smoke, the three young ladies also broke away from their team and quickly walked towards Wang Chen. Seeing this, Zhou Wenwei glanced at Li Yuan, whose expression had turned gloomy, and grinned. Hey, Li Xiao, shall we go over too? Before Li Yuan could speak, King Chuan on the side sneered coldly. We'll definitely have to go over. It's a good opportunity to ask our esteemed Eastern genius Wang Chen what outstanding achievements he has attained. On his first day as the proud royalty, the young masters and ladies of other clans also burst into mocking laughter. He actually got decent scores. Didn't you see he came out early? Why 300 means he failed the exam. And this guy was doing it solo. He probably came out after the first stage. The former celestial genius can't even compare to me now. Upon seeing this, Zhuo Wenwei sneered. Let's go then. Let's interview the celestial genius about his feelings. At this moment, Liu Ruyun sat right beside Wang Chen, unconcerned with the gazes around. Speak up, you freak. What's your score? Tell me so I can accept being the eternal second place. Seeing this, I felt helpless and tried to scoot away. But then, Liu Ruofu sat down right beside me as well, leaning in to hear my score. This scene further darkened Li Yuan's expression. The look in King Chuan's eyes also became exceedingly gloomy. The reward for killing Wang Chen was high, but the bounty hunters never found him. So he managed to evade that crisis. Now, seeing Wang Chen flanked by beauties like this, King Chuan was furious. He sneered, Wang Chen, I really envy you. You did terribly on the exam, yet you still enjoy such intimacies. I'm so jealous of you, Wang Chen. You failed miserably, yet you still have beauties flanking you like this.